The evening sky bled into gold and crimson over the endless fields of Montana, painting the land in sorrow and beauty all at once. The wind carried the scent of rain and dust, that familiar perfume of the ranchlands, and, somewhere far off, a lone horse galloped across the ridge, its rider dressed in a worn-out hat and an old leather jacket that had seen many winters. That rider was Luke Carter, a quiet cowboy who worked the land the way his father once did. Honest, simple, and far from the noise of the world. He wasn't a man of many words, but when he spoke, people listened. They said Luke had eyes that carried stories of pain, stories he never told. That night, as he rode back to his cabin, he noticed something strange by the old river bend, something that didn't belong to the silence of the valley. A horse, frightened, tied halfway to a broken fence, and lying near the rocks was a girl, barely breathing. Her dress was torn, her skin pale as moonlight, and her pulse faint, fading. Luke jumped down, rushing to her side. Hey, stay with me," he whispered, brushing dirt off her face. She didn't answer. The wind howled, and the night grew colder. He could see she'd fallen, maybe from the horse, maybe worse. He lifted her carefully, wrapping her in his old coat, and whispered, "Hold on, darling. You ain't dying tonight." Back at his small ranch, Luke laid her on the bed, lighting the fireplace. He cleaned her wounds, bandaged her arm, and gave her water drop by drop. Hours passed, and he sat there beside her, waiting. Her breathing steadied, still weak but alive. Morning came softly over the hills. The girl opened her eyes, green as the grass after rain, and stared at the cowboy sitting beside her. For a moment she looked lost, afraid. "Where am I?" she asked weakly. "Safe," Luke said quietly. "You fell by the river. I found you." She tried to sit up, but pain pulled her back. "My mother, she's out there. Please, I need to find her." Luke looked out the window. The valley stretched endlessly. "We'll find her," he said, grabbing his hat. They rode together through the dusty trails, the sun high and merciless. For hours they searched until finally they reached a small burned wagon by the canyon road. There, lying beneath a tree, was an older woman, weak, coughing, her eyes half open. The girl ran to her, tears streaming down her face. "Mama!" The woman looked at Luke with trembling lips. You saved my girl?" Luke nodded slowly. She was barely breathing. "You're lucky she made it." The woman's eyes filled with tears as she took her daughter's hand. "God sent you to us." She coughed hard, her body shaking. Luke knelt beside her, but he could already tell her time was short. She took Luke's hand, her voice breaking. "Promise me something, cowboy." Luke hesitated. "What is it, Mom?" "She's got no one left. Her father's gone. Her kin, too. Promise me you'll take care of her." Luke's throat tightened. "My sister." I'm just a rancher." The woman smiled weakly. "Not anymore. You're her home now." Then, with the last of her breath, she whispered the words that would change Luke's life forever. "She's yours now." Silence fell over the valley. The wind stopped. Even the horses stood still. Luke looked down at the woman's lifeless hand, and then at the girl, who was crying softly, clinging to her mother. He didn't know why his heart hurt the way it did. Maybe because he'd lost someone once, too. But as he looked at that broken girl, he knew one thing. He couldn't walk away. Not this time. That night, under the quiet stars of the Montana sky, Luke buried the woman by the willow tree near the river. The girl stood beside him, holding the same coat he'd wrapped her in. When the last bit of earth was laid, she turned to him with trembling words. "What happens now?" she asked. Luke looked at the horizon. The kind of look only cowboys give when they know fate's already decided. "Now, kid," he said softly, "you come home with me." And from that day on, a quiet cowboy and a broken girl began a journey neither of them had asked for. But maybe both of them needed.